Welcome into the Memorabilia Network. I'm Dan Nelles. Joining us today is Tim Mead, the former president of the Baseball Hall of Fame and a 40-year executive in Major League Baseball. Tim, thanks so much for joining us today.
Dan, thank you for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Tim, I don't know if you saw recently about the news about the sale of this Mickey Mantle rookie card that sold for over $12 million. It's a great thing for our industry, but it's still fantastical to me that, you know, there's that much exposure in the marketplace to a player from the 1950s. However, I really think that him and Willie Mays, they have this mystique, and there's a reason why they're still so popular to this day. They were really, you know, two combatants that were in New York City going head to head in the 50s, and both of them were really what I think people would call five-tool players. They could do everything. And so why do you think that their popularity still endures to this day so much?
Well, Dan, I think you used the right word to start with mystique.
Yeah.
And I think it was well-earned and deserved. Like a lot of things throughout our history and both news and sports, so many things start kind of in New York, in New York City in particular, because of the media, the amount of media, the evolution of television, everything that was created back there. But the coverage, you had two great players that were worthy of all the descriptions that were coming out of some great sports writers at the time. You know, the crowd, that they were almost larger than life figures. We couldn't see them. I think that part of it's so difficult today's players because we see them every day.
Right.
So that when you had that chance on a game of the week or the photographs, and then you read the story, but who they were as people too. I mean, it wasn't just on-field performers. They were kind of larger than life figures in their personalities a little bit. I'm not so sure that both of them always embraced all the media attention, but I think they understood it, and that helped a great deal. But every reference, when greatness at that time, if you just continue to hear Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle, there weren't a lot of like similar style players at that time. They were consistent with it ultimately. You weren't talking about a couple players that sustained for 2-3 years, had a few off years, and then came back. It was consistent, and that came at a time that I don't think we put labels on players. They earned every bit of it over the course of duration of a long period of time. And I think that people appreciate that. When you are the athlete that modern players are compared to, pardon me, that helps sustain the legend and the mystique as well.
Right.
If you look, and I'll go back to the Cooperstown times, you look at Babe Ruth, if you look at the four major sports, there's really, I don't think, another athlete that every 12-year-old that walks into the Hall of Fame, they know Babe Ruth.
Right.
But they may not all know Gordie Howe. Right. Maybe a hockey, aficionado would.
From Canada, I mean, that's...
Well, exactly. But of the four, it's Ruth. And then I think really when you go down, and then the song that came out from Terry Cashman, Willie, Mickey, and the Duke, those things perpetuated it a lot more, and I think that's very important. And if you can be a public figure, whether it's a celebrity, whether it's an athlete, that you are now the bar that others are measured against, I think you sustain your popularity through the generations.